What's up everyone, it's Stantin here, and today I decided to make a real quick LEGO Fortnite guide and talk to you how to quickly progress into the game as you first start your journey. And the reason I wanted to do this is because I already had a couple of playthroughs with you guys, and I've noticed how much some of you have struggled to understand how the game works. Now real quick, let's go over what LEGO Fortnite is and how it's played. And as you might have already noticed, as you jump into the game, the world you create or join from your friends, it's always kind of like randomly generated, meaning that it will be different from what I have here unless you of course get my seed and load that into your own game. The seeds here are all unique, and the closest I can point you to kind of give you an idea how the game works, just think of it kind of like a Minecraft game, and I'm really sure that you all heard about it before and you know what Minecraft is. As I was saying, each world has a number of different biomes providing different types of materials, enemies, and difficulties. More than that, a very important thing to know is that different biomes have different weather patterns. So for example, if you make your way into the desert biomes, you might want to bring along some snowy berries or even make some snowy berry shakes to keep you cool for a long time, as well as craft a cool headed charm that you guys can see right over here. This one is going to increase resistance to hot temperatures. At the same time, you may want to remove your torch from your hand, just like that, because the torch is also going to increase your temperature. And you also want to keep an eye on that as well. But when it comes to the mountain biomes, as you can imagine, you need to equip a proper charm that provides some heat as well as get some spicy burgers, such as these ones right here. And eating these burgers will reduce hunger and also temporarily increase cold resistance, which is really important when you are exploring the cold and harsh environments such as the frozen caves. So now that we got that out of the way, where do you start building your base? And this is a really important part of the game. Depending on where you place your village, you will have to journey all the way to the biomes eventually to collect the resources you need, and you might want to be as close as possible to everything. So try to look for a spot that's more like in between. As I was saying, this is where I should have probably built my own base. We do have the desert biome over here as we explored, and the mountain biome is right up at the top here. So this one should have been better. The reason I decided to go with this one is because look at the view though. I just wanted to have this over here because I absolutely love the view on the ocean. We do have a lot of water. Unfortunately, currently you cannot really explore the water areas as there's no way to kind of like build a boat, or maybe there is. I think if I'm not mistaken, if you go into crafting, right over here, I can actually place one of these dynamic foundations maybe on the water, and then I can attach some of these thrusters to it in order to be able to control, and maybe that's gonna be how we're gonna be able to have this one as a boat. I haven't tried it yet, to be honest. We are gonna have to wait and see, and as the storm is setting in here. But what I suggest you do is simply go exploring a bit at the beginning and try to find all the biomes, and once you detect them, choose a spot in between. Again, as I was saying, I would say that this would be probably the best spot to be kind of like as close as possible to both mountain, desert over here, and also be in the grasslands, or maybe like even here might have been the perfect one. We also have a little bit of water here with like a really pretty lake we could go with. So I could have made the base over here. I just decided to go with this one. The thing is, you can always move your base if you're not happy with the result and build it somewhere else. You can always do that. Also, preferably when you place your base and decide to where you want to build, make sure it has a lot of trees around, stones, and importantly, berry bushes. And I do recommend using these berry bushes and not destroying them, because at the beginning, you are going to need quite a lot of food. Currently, as you can see, I do have these pieces of food, these pieces of meat that are giving me a ton of food. You can also go ahead and chop down some of these chickens, of course, to grab their meat, and always kind of like grill them up because meat gives you a lot of food. But at the beginning, of course, you're not gonna be able to do that. But for now, as I was saying, do not chop down, do not destroy the bushes as you can see in the video, because these berry bushes are gonna keep on growing every single day, and you're gonna have like a free food every time. You don't have to worry about food for quite a bit of time, at least at the beginning of the game. Alright, now once you have your base built, I suggest you prioritize in getting your village upgraded as much as possible. Currently, our base is at almost level 10. We've done quite a bit of upgrading here and unlocking a lot of stuff. But upgrades are really important, and a really important way to progress into the game. The totem right here allows you to recruit new villagers. As you can see, currently we have one more slot we're going to unlock very soon once we're going to reach level 10. It also unlocks new recipes and stuff for you to build more things. If I go into build mode, you can see all kinds of things you can build. And all of these are because, of course, we upgraded our village hub. Also, next, let me make my way to our... Ooh, hold up, we are cold here. Let me get myself the torch in hand. Whenever you're getting cold, just put on your torch in hand, and this will protect you from cold. As long as you are not in the mountains, of course. But next up, let's go to the workbench. And this is also a place you gotta do bench upgrades. Upgrading your workbench is really important because the more you upgrade your workbench, the more better tools you unlock. As you can see, we currently have the forest axe, the uncommon one, the rare ones, and we don't really have the very cool ones, but we are about to get those as I'm going to upgrade my workbench once again. As you can see right now, the requirements for this one is obsidian slabs, brute scales, and copper bars, which we have, but we haven't done this upgrade just yet. We will very soon. Always check the materials you need in order to get these upgrades going, as upgrading the workbench will allow you to build better tools such as the uncommon and rare forest axe and pickaxe that will allow you to harvest better materials such as the knot root found in caves or flexwood by chopping down the cacti in the desert biomes. Next up in the list, and a very important element you need to set up, are farms. Now our farm here is pretty poor. It's also glitched out a little bit. As you guys can see, some of our things are kind of like floating about. But farms are really important in order to progress into the game. So building up your farm is really important because this is where you're going to be able to plant all sorts of seeds that are very important in late games, as you will use these crops to craft better drinks and foods that will allow you to explore different biomes. Again, as I was saying, if you look at my inventory, we have the spicy burger. This one is actually crafted using, let me show you guys right now. If you go into the grill, you're using flour, meat, and spicy peppers. Of course, these ones, all these elements can be found across the map. Spicy peppers can be found in the desert. Meat can be found anywhere by simply taking down some animals. And the flour can also be crafted. To be honest, we haven't crafted this one just yet. This one has just been dropped randomly through things that I'm going to be talking at the end of the video here. Once you use these elements, you're going to be able to create spicy burgers. And the spicy burgers are great for the mountain area. Another thing you're going to be able to make, of course, is going to be the using the juicer. You need the snowberry shake, which is made using the snowberries and milk. Milk is grabbed from the cows by simply petting them, and the snowberries are crafted from your farm, of course. Once you find the seeds, usually I found these seeds kind of like in the caves as we kept on exploring. You just simply go into one of these plots, you put the seed inside, and eventually they will grow. Now, how to make these plots of soil? Simply, you will need soil and poop. You guys have actually seen me grab a little bit of poop here from animals. You're going to be able to find animals around everywhere. Whenever there's animals, there's also going to be poop. But in order to grab soil, you are going to need a shovel. You dig around in the dirt, no matter where. And eventually, that is going to give you a little bit of soil. You use the soil and the poop, which is, of course, fertilizer, I guess. And you make these plots of soil. You then plant your seeds and wait for them to grow. It's that easy. And once you have the resources you need, you simply craft the food elements you need, and those are definitely going to help you stay out alive in the very harsh environments in the world. Next up, how do we unlock more recipes? Well, recipes are the way you progress more in the game, of course, and it's also a really cool way to unlock new stuff to build. And of course, for a game like LEGO, building is really fun and really rewarding. So there are 3 ways to unlock new recipes. First of all, there is your village hub right over here that will keep adding more and more recipes for each level you upgrade. If you go into the upgrade village, you can see that every single one of these levels you go through, it will keep on unlocking new things for us. The more you upgrade, the more recipes you will receive, of course. Second step of receiving more recipes is from villagers. Again, the more you upgrade your village hub, once you reach level 7, I believe it was. If I go over here, yep, there we go. This is gonna give us even more. Gift galore. Villagers can gift unique recipes, so that is definitely something you want. And the way you get it is by simply going to one of your villagers here, by simply chatting with them. So far, these are just decorations and not really something important that will progress you in the game, but they are just decoration items such as like rugs, paintings, and all that kind of stuff. If, for example, I go into build mode here, these are kind of like the ones that I am chatting about. These are just items are being added by the villagers by simply chatting with them, such as Pili here. If I go and chat with him, eventually they are gonna give to you, of course, those new recipes. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. So you just gotta be patient. You gotta keep on chatting with them, eventually with every single one of your villagers, and hopefully eventually you are gonna get the recipes that you need. And thirdly, and probably the most important one, make sure you get all the utility structure built up. And here I'm talking about the crafting bench, stone cutter, gem cutter, and all these important items or these important machines that you're using in order to get more refined tools and better resources eventually. Every single time you place one of these down, it will unlock new items you can then go ahead and craft and of course use in order to make better tools. And a good example for this one is, let's say we go into the loom over here. So for the loom, we're gonna get silk fabric and wool fabric, and we actually need those two in order to craft ourselves a glider. This is actually the latest thing we got ourselves in the camp here, and of course we couldn't have a glider in the game without making the loom. And once you build that up, you unlock those two items you can then combine together in order to make your special glider. Really important for exploring. But that is just an example, of course. There's a lot of new items into the game you're going to be able to craft, and you cannot make those without the proper machines. Alright, and now to get all these structures built up, you will of course need different tiers of resources. You can only get these by firstly getting yourself the top tier tools and weapons. So if you get to the crafting bench, you will notice that you will first start off with the common forest axe and the pickaxe, which I cannot see for some reason. Oh, this one. Of course, these are going to be the first ones that you're going to be able to craft by simply using resources you find in the game, like wood and granite. But after these are going to be the uncommon one, which are going to require, again, bones or wooden rods that are going to be collected, of course, in the grasslands. Bones are found from skeletons by taking them down, and wooden rods are being created over here at the lumber mill using simply wood that you find everywhere. But once you have that one, you will actually notice that the pickaxe, the uncommon one, is a little more complicated because this one requires knotwood rods and bones. Well, knotwood rods is something you also craft over here, but this one requires knot rods, and these ones are found inside caves. Video, of course, you can watch it on the screen right now. It is a little bit more difficult to collect, but it is something you will need quite a bit in order to progress into your game. And of course, once you have the knotwood, you're going to be able to then use the knotwood rod in order to make the pickaxe here. Now, in order to get yourself the rare forest axe and the rare pickaxe, it's a little bit of a different story. First of all, you are going to have to get yourself the forest axe. But in order to get this one, you are going to need knotwood rods, which we already know that you're getting these ones from the cave. But we also need cut amber. Well, amber is something you're going to get from the desert, and you are going to need this uncommon pickaxe to get that. Once you get yourself the amber, you're then going to have to make your way over to the gem cutter, and of course, transform the amber into cut amber. Once you get yourself the cut amber, you then have to come to the crafting bench here and make yourself, of course, the forest axe. But now that you have to yourself the forest axe, you cannot make the pickaxe just yet because this one requires flexwood rods and sand claws. How do you get these ones? Well, you gotta go back to the desert actually, using the forest axe that you just crafted, chop down some cacti, and also take down some sand wolves because they're gonna be dropping these sand claws. And once you have the flexwood, you're gonna have to come back to the lumber mill, craft yourself the flexwood rods. And this is the flexwood, of course, that we're getting from the cacti. Craft yourself some flexwood rods, and also using the sand claws that you got from the sand wolves, you're then going to be able to get yourself the better pickaxe. And of course, with this pickaxe, you are going to finally be able to go inside the caves in the desert and get yourself some of the obsidian slabs and other resources as well. So it is quite a bit of back and forth you're going to have to do, going to different locations and keep on doing random things like this. But this is the only way you're going to progress. I personally love it. Some people may not like it. Me personally, I absolutely love the way the progression works in the game. I feel like it's super fun. It also kind of like forces you to go exploring quite a bit, going back and forth. And every single time, of course, you explore, you encounter different type of enemies. You're finding different type of loot and different type of secrets. And that is what I actually really love about the game. And to end up this quick guide here, a few ways to get rare resources and items you might struggle to get otherwise is pay close attention to these colorful butterflies appearing out of nowhere that can lead you to hidden chests or llamas that you can go ahead and pet and open up for some really great loot. Other great random resources you can find are even chests hidden in abandoned shacks or even airdrops falling randomly from the sky. And ultimately, there are these random events where you can actually see a huge rainbow in the distance. Making your way to it will reveal a floating cloud that you can get on top of by building a few stairs. Once you get up there, you will notice some NPCs dancing around, and if you join them in dancing and emote with them, they will reward you with some really great loot. Sometimes the loot might not be that good, sometimes it's very good. So yeah, just make your way to these random rainbows you see across the map and get that loot because it will definitely come in handy, especially when you first start playing the game. Alright, there we have it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick video here. I hope this guide is actually going to help you up. If it is, make sure you leave a like down below. I am definitely going to keep on playing a lot of LEGO Fortnite with you guys, especially in my live streams. So if you want to try to join the SMP, unfortunately, there's not that many spots for people to join up, since the server is always kind of like getting full of my members. But make sure you join, and if there are going to be some open spots, I will try to allow you guys to join in. Hopefully in the future, developers are also going to work a little bit more on maybe adding a little bit of a few features to the game that will take care of the griefing, because currently everybody can grief you around, which I do believe this is a very bad thing with these sort of games. But I do believe that Epic is going to do the right thing. They are going to fix this up eventually, and we are going to be able to enjoy the game even more. All right. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for more. Bye, everybody.